Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully one of your favorite official content creators for Crystal of Atlan, and today what I'm going to teach you guys is how to do the skill build for PvE for the Starbreaker class, alright? The Starbreaker class is a very interesting and pretty powerful class whereby you can charge up certain skills while having a shield to tank through enemy attacks, and then you will be able to unleash these skills to do a lot of damage. They've also got this interesting mechanic up here called Core Amplification. Depending on the number of hits that a skill does, your skill can gain core amplification, and it will use that core amplification to empower the skill to deal even more damage. Alright? Now, let me show you a quick demonstration of how this works. For example, if I use skill number 4, when charging up, I gain 2 lamps of core amplification, and I consume one at the end to deal extra damage. Now, if I go high up in the air and use the big drop, it consumes the other lamp. Therefore, I have a particular combo, for example, in this loadout, where I can go up high with that and immediately consume that to slam back down. Then I can use another skill to gain core amplification, use it up, gain core amplification again. You know, I can use it up in various ways, and then regain it immediately by doing something like this, consume it on the final hit to deal extra bonus damage. That is what this entire loadout will do. That is what the entire loadout is designed to do. Make use of core amplification, amplify your skills, and also give you plenty of shields to tank through enemy attacks. How does it all work and how do you put it together? Well, let's not hesitate and let's go through the skill build, all right? Now, I'm going to remove my camera for this so that's easier for me to walk you through the skills, but I'm going to explain all of them, and then we'll get started, okay? So, first, let's talk about the passive skills in this loadout. We'll start from the top and work our way to the bottom. Heavy Armor Master, you will always have this, okay? Because you should always be wearing heavy armor for the bonus strength and physique, okay? Special Quick Recovery, everybody has this, all right? This is how you can recover out of getting juggled or out of certain situations where you're locked in the air, okay? You've got your Charged Basic Attack. Now, this one doesn't cost anything. It's to help you be able to knock enemies into the air and drag aerial enemies to the ground. You want to have level 4 high energy particles, which increases your critical damage. This is a passive skill. Okay, Extreme Dodge. If you dodge an enemy's attack at the last moment, you will gain resonance energy. All right, and resonance duration will increase as well by +2 seconds. You've got the Core Engine. Now, this is the passive of the Starbreaker. Basically, this is the core amplification system, and I will show you this with certain skills, okay? And that is it for the standalone passives. Oh, there is one more. After successfully triggering the extra effects of all fully charged skills, gain Flamebound for 3 seconds or extend the duration of the existing Flamebound status. While Flamebound, you gain a 6% damage bonus. Triggering Crimson Armor and all charge ascensions will provide 2 core energy gauges. Alright, so this is how your charge skills gain extra energy when you charge them up. Okay, so what skills are you actually going to use in your build? Okay, there's a difference between skills that are what we call fluff skills. These are skills that are just designed to help you up your damage, but not actually to deal maximum damage. Alright, in fact, these two, the levels are different because I was experimenting with them. But I believe that these two, yeah, there's nowhere else that I can add the skill points to, so I just level these up evenly. Okay, there are certain skills that are what we call fluff skills to help you boost your core amplification, as well as your main skills which help you deal damage, okay? I'm going to go through all the skills in order, starting with your ultimate skills, then your main skills, then what I call your fluff skills, okay? Just to help you gain more amplification for your main skills. Let's start with the ultimates first, okay? Your ultimate skill is going to be Blazing Hurricane. Why? This is on a 32-second cooldown, and with core amplification, you're going to deal a whole bunch of extra damage, so I absolutely love this. You can gain core amplification with this, but it is better to consume core amplification for the boosted damage, okay? This is your basic ult. You're going to equip it here so that you can go through certain dungeons faster. And oops, sorry about that. Your second ultimate is going to be all the way at the end. It's going to be your Ultra Awakening skill, which is called Hyperdrive Scorch Flare. You earn this at level 60 after doing the quest. Okay, this is on a 150-second cooldown, and it will deal 14,454% physical damage and extra 3,600% with core amplification. Make sure you have core amplification before using this. It's pretty important, okay? Next, your next main skill is going to be called Melting Blitz. This one will throw a flurry of punches, all right? And the downward kicks damage can be enhanced via Core Amplification. So, this one can deal up to 6,248% damage, and with Core Amplification, your final kick is enhanced, all right? However, take note that although this is a skill that where you hold down the button, it does not give you a shield while you're doing this, so please remember to only use this when you know that you're not going to take a big hit. Furthermore, Passionate Blaze, all right, will allow you to enter the Flamebound state after a certain number of combos. You will gain 6 seconds of a Flamebound status or extend the duration of an existing Flamebound based on how many times you smack the enemy, all right? This is in relation to Melting Blitz, so use that well. You'll have Fist Cannon, which for me will reach level 3, but I've got a +2 here as well, thanks to my armor set. So what this one does is that it will basically charge up and shoot a cannon forward. It does a lot of damage, and it also inflicts medium armor break, reducing the enemy's defense. During the skill, you will gain a shield. So while charging up the skill, you will gain a shield. All right, so use this when you can use this when the enemy is charging up a big attack. If it happens while you're charging up and assuming it doesn't break your shield, you can tank the attack, which is excellent. All right, casting the skill in the air will automatically charge up the skill to its fullest with the same charge up casting time as the ground. So if you're in the air and you press the skill, all right, it'll automatically start charging up. Let me show you an example, and it will charge it to max before firing. Okay, same actually goes for this skill, which can be used to get higher heights for your big drop, just so you know. All right, so that's something that y'all can do. Okay, coming back to the skill set. All right, let's talk about the next skill in the list. Burning Meteor is amazing, okay? You will dash forward, and if an enemy is hit, you'll perform a throwing skill that inflicts medium armor break. All right, basically, you're going to grab an enemy and use them and turn them into a meteor. Casting in midair instantly triggers the elbow attack, so there's no grab if you cast this in midair. They'll just do the elbow drop down instead of grabbing an enemy. That being said, this thing is on a 35-second cooldown, does 4,928% physical damage with 1,232% enhanced with Core Amplification. You can also take Dominance from above, whereby Burning Meteor deals increased damage from higher altitudes. Guess what you can do? As soon as you reach the apex of your Shoryuken, you can go even higher with Burning Meteor to get a bonus when you drop down. That is pretty much what I use that for, and that's why there is that particular combo. So take note of that skill because it's really important. Okay, next you will want your Scarlet Comet. This is so awesome. At full charge, you will just deal one massive single hit that inflicts medium armor break and is enhanced with Core Amplification. While charging up, you can gain a shield. Okay, so this is pretty darn good. How much damage do you deal? 3,312% damage on a 22-second cooldown with 920% enhanced with Core Amplification. Furthermore, overcharge the turbine component to make Scarlet Comet absorb damage equal to max hit points at the start of charging, and trigger Scarlet Comet's fully charged effect immediately after being attacked. What this means is that if you're attacked while charging up, you will immediately just hit the enemy with Scarlet Comet and essentially deflect the attack. Okay? You can absorb damage equal to max hit points at the start of charging. All right? So this can act as a very, very nice parry skill, just so you know. Okay? Next is the Flaming Hook. This is one of your bread and butter skills. All right? This thing will unleash an amazing Shoryuken that is going to deal 1,960% damage multiplied by 2, because you have 2 hits. It's on a mere 17-second cooldown, and it's got 980% Core Amplification. If that isn't crazy, then you're missing out. Double Potential is the passive. It has a second charge level with a second level charge detection. When charging up, the weapon flashes up to 2 times. Each flash indicates a charge ascension. Every charge ascension adds 1 hit to the attack. Maximum is 3 extra hits. Casting the skill in the air will automatically charge it up to its fullest. Okay? Last but not least, Blazing Gravity. In the Flamebound status, enemies are pulled to your front, all right, when Flaming Hook starts charging. Every charge ascension triggers a pull. So, if you become Flamebound first by using a different skill, you can use this to draw enemies in. Okay, what does that mean? Let's say this skill makes me flame bound. Then I can pull enemies in and deal extra instances of damage by using the Shoryuken. You see that? So the uppercut should always be the second skill you use in order to, you know, draw in more enemies. So you can actually open your combo with either the missile shot, okay, giving you flame bound status, or you can use this and then open up with the Shoryuken. All right, it's really up to you, but that is one of the combos that I like. Okay, it helps me out a lot in the field. Or you can even use Burn O Flames. In fact, that's the next skill we're going to talk about. Burn O Flames is a wide range AoE that draws enemies in. Okay, you gather enemies nearby, explode, and become flame bound for 10 seconds. While flame bound is active, deal extra pyro damage and scorch enemies that you hit for 5 seconds. Okay, it's on a 30-second cooldown, but this thing does 1,424% damage. All right. The first hit deals 1,068%. And with Core Amplification, you get 534% extra damage. You also deal 11.6% pyro damage while you are in the flame-bound status. So this can effectively add an element to your attacks. All right? So this is a pretty important skill. You'll notice that all of these skills are your main hitting skills. They've all been leveled to the max because, well, the maximum possible right now because they're extremely strong. We have skipped Blazing Impact as well as Hyperdrive because I find them not as good for this particular build. But, I mean, if you like them, feel free to go for them. But I'll show you how this operates and how I do my combos. Okay? Then you've got 2 fluff skills to help you build up your Core Amplification. Starfall is amazing for this because you can grab an enemy and throw them, inflicting medium armor break. All right, you can also enhance the damage with Core Amplification. It doesn't do much, but it does a lot of hits, and it's guaranteed to give you 2 Core Amplification lamps. Same with Fiery Flurry. The number of hits here will allow you to get a full Core Amplification gauge, which means 2 pips. All right, so I absolutely love these 2 skills for building up my Core Amplification. I've leveled them both to 10 out of 20 because their damage is not important. Okay, their overall damage is really, really not important. So these 2 skills are just to give you a bonus. Now, how do you actually play this particular build, and how do you actually use all the skills that are in this build, and how do you make it work? Okay, when you open up on the enemy, you choose either skill 1 or 2. It's PvE, so you should know where the enemy is. They're not going to do any fancy moves like in PvP. So, let's say I want to start off with this. I'll do that, then I'll go up in the air. I'll drop down. I've used up all my Core Amplification. I can get 2 Core Amplification back, then do something like that. I can use my 3rd skill, and then I can trigger this particular skill, which consumes Core Amplification. I've got none right now. I can use either my charge up skill 2, or I can use 3 if the enemy is down, because only the final hit consumes Core Amplification. The first few hits give you Core Amplification, and then the cycle just repeats. All right, as long as I'm flame bound, I can use my Shoryuken. I can get up in the air, charge up, blast, and then, you know, I can use something that does not give me any Core Amplification. If I run out, I can use either of my fluffer skills, which can also consume Core Amplification, so please be careful. Like, for example, if I use my punches, I'll just use this to gain whatever I need, and then I can use any other skill, you know? But if you have no Core Amplification, any of the charge up skills will gain Core Amplification before consuming it. So don't worry, all right? Use the charge up skills first to open up. Use the fluffer skills if you ever need more Core Amplification. And use your ults only when you have a Core Amplification to enhance it. All right? This way you get the maximum damage out of it, and you get to absolutely rip and tear your opponents by dealing maximum damage. That's how to play this build. All right? If you guys want to see this build in action, I could go and do some gameplay, but why don't you actually tune into my streams? I can link you to any of my streams. Just ask in the comments, or if you've tuned into my stream and you've seen my Starbreaker, this is pretty much how Starbreaker operates, and this is the skill build. Let me know if you like the skill build. Let me know if it helps you with your content, but this is how you build it up. Let's do a quick summary again of all the skills. All right, all the skills will look like this. Hyperdrive Scorch Flare, level 3. Level 3 here. Fist Cannon, level 3. Melting Blitz is level 6. Okay, I'm going to ignore all the pluses. Make sure you get Passionate Blaze as well. Blazing Strike, I don't believe you have to level this up. Yep, it's just you get it normally. Burning Meteor, okay, it should be level 7 here, and then you can get Dominance from above. All right, Your Flaming Hook should be level 14. Make sure you grab Double Potential Energy as well as Blazing Gravity. Burn O Flames is level 11. Scarlet Comet is level 12. Make sure you grab your Crimson Armor as well. Then the other two skills are Starfall and Fiery Flurry, both at level 7 each, okay? For your passives, you've got your Core Engine, High Energy Particles, your Charge B Attack, Special Quick Recovery, Heavy Armor Mastery, Extreme Dodge, all the usual stuff, nothing special, all right? And this is the entire skill build. All right, if you're confused about any of these, well, just check through the video, but hopefully this quick summary also helps. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if this helps you guys out, all right? And I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't do anything weird while I'm gone, and please enjoy the Starbreaker and Crystal of Atlan. See you next time, fam. Bye!